Malika, sources tell me that Kawhi Leonard is expected to be sidelined for the start of this NBA season starting next week. He's continuing to rehab inflammation in his right knee, going through a rehab process with the Clippers to strengthen that knee. I'm told he is still in that protocol, that process. And the Clippers, Leonard, they're working together to make sure whenever he's back on the floor, he's going to be able to sustain and stay on the court, and that they're doing their due diligence and not just bringing him back for the start of the season or rushing him back for a week. But for Kawhi Leonard, this has been something since last spring, really, where it's been a process. He just has not felt right. He's been dealing with swelling in that knee, continued swelling. That's something he's still had and developed over the course of this training camp. So he will be out a period of time to start the NBA season. Still unclear exactly when, but the players, coaches, they are bracing for him to be out a period of time to start the year. This puts a lot of the onus on James Harden. Maybe not to be Houston James Harden, but everything you see out of the Clippers right now and James Harden is that he is in top form. He's ready from a leadership perspective, and also what he's delivered so far on the court in preseason. What he's going to bring is going to be as close to Houston James Harden as we've seen. And then around him, Norm Powell, Derrick Jones Jr., Ivica Zubac, players ready to step up in the absence of Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, wow, out indefinitely, just days away from officially opening their brand new arena here in Los Angeles. Shams, I want to bring in Tim Legler, Kendrick Perkins, and Brian Windhorst into this discussion as well. Brian, the last time that we really saw Kawhi, he was being replaced on the Olympic roster here, and now to hear that months later he is still dealing with this knee inflammation, what's your reaction to this?
Well, Shams reported earlier this year that he had a procedure at the end of last season, and Team USA took really one look at him in workouts and knew he couldn't go. That was really not a difficult decision. They tried to make it a soft announcement, but clearly he was nowhere near ready to go. And yesterday, Brian Shaw, the Clippers assistant coach, spoke to the media, and I don't know if he was supposed to, but he revealed that Kawhi wasn't doing anything with them on the practice court, you know, with this, he started the season a week away. And so the disappointment here is that last year was really Kawhi's healthiest year as a Clipper. He was terrific throughout the regular season until this issue popped up at the end of last year and clearly still affecting him.
Yeah, look, here's what I think. I think you're going to hardly see Kawhi Leonard at all this year, if you even see him. The fact that you've had 6 months since we last saw him trying to, fight his way through that playoff series against Dallas and couldn't go. You're talking about 6 months of very little activity, doing nothing but addressing this situation, and you already have inflammation going into the season. This is a really bad sign for Kawhi Leonard. It's bad for the league. We want to watch the guy play. But at this point, with everything he has dealt with in the past, when you're dealing with this on the cusp of a new year with all that time off, really bad sign for the Clippers, even worse for Kawhi Leonard. I don't know how much we're even going to see this guy play this year.
This is really unfortunate because of the possible 435 games that Kawhi could play since joining the Clippers. He has only played, or rather he has missed 179 of them, Kendrick.
I know, and I think it's about that time to have that uncomfortable, tough conversation. This is not a hot take. But when you think about his history and you think about now and everything that Legs just alluded to, 6 months and it's still problems with his knee, right? And every single season it's a problem when it comes down to Kawhi Leonard health. He needs to sit down at the round table, not only with the Clippers organization, but his family as well. I really think Kawhi Leonard should consider retiring. And I'm a huge fan of Kawhi Leonard, but we done seen and witnessed so many guys go through these problems when dealing with swelling in the knee, when there's only so many surgeries that you could have when it comes down to repairing things, when it comes down to cartilage in your knee. Sooner or later, it's going to be bone on bone. I don't know that's the case. I'm just telling you from past experiences for his teammates that I've had, that at this point in time, that conversation really need to be had. And I think Kawhi Leonard has to be honest with himself, and he knows his body, had that conversation with the organization and the family, but I really do think he might need to consider walking away from the game of basketball.
Of course, Perk, that comes from your experience as an NBA champion here. Let's just base this back in your reporting for a minute here, Shams. Is that anywhere near the reality that they're facing right now as you're looking, as you reported, at him being out indefinitely?
With the Clippers and Leonard, the good news, though, is they feel like he's now on a protocol and a pathway where they found some success in terms of this is the plan. This is the plan we're going to chart. And they feel like they have found it. And I think Kawhi Leonard, from what I'm told, there has been some level of optimism that he has a better handle of where this swelling is at than he has in the past several months. Of course, that's a level of concern. But the fact that they actually have a plan for him and there is a protocol in place, that is the one saving grace you can take from the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard's perspective, is that there is a plan here to see if he can get back on the court and at a high level, sustained level, not just a level where you're still fearing he's going to be in and out of the lineup. They don't want him back in the lineup if it's going to be in and out. They want him to be sustainable. And they feel like with James Harden there, they can at least tread water and play at a high level with him leading the ship.
Right, because when he is on the floor, Kawhi Leonard, he is absolutely incredible to watch, and we cannot lose sight of that. This does, and I cannot underscore this enough, come just days ahead of the Clippers opening this brand new arena, and the Cell has been a team that lives up to the state-of-the-art functions of the actual facility that they are opening. Shams, thank you so much for stopping. Joel Embiid, he's been ruled out the remainder of the postseason as he continues to manage that knee. What is Embiid and the Sixers' mindset for the preseason, going into the regular season?
What we're seeing with Joel Embiid, it's part of the new normal that we're going to see with Joel Embiid. I'm told it's going to include periodic time offs for him during the course of the season. It's going to include regular scheduled checkups for Joel Embiid throughout the course of the season. I'm told he is not worried. He is not concerned about any accolades this season. He's not concerned about the 65-game limit for the All-NBA team or MVP. He only wants to be 100% healthy for when he has not been, and that's the playoffs. And to get him there in full-born and full shape, that is the ultimate concern. And what's on the mind of Joel Embiid and the Sixers, from his shape, from his weight, from his conditioning, they want to make sure he's all systems go when the playoffs start. And this is going to be a part of the new normal we see with Joel Embiid. And
that includes him not playing in the preseason. Please stick around, Shams, because this is being managed ahead of the season. It's not something new for the 76ers star, but the numbers explain why planning is important here. If, Mr. Matt Sellers, we could show our viewers this, please. When you include the postseason, Embiid has missed 376 career games, which comes out to actually missing 43% of every possible game, which is pretty astounding when you add it all up. And
Malika, Sixers officials told me that it is a bone bruise in that left knee for Paul George. Thankfully for him and the Sixers, there's no structural damage in that knee, but he will be reevaluated next Tuesday, the day before their season opener against the Milwaukee Bucks. And there is a level of uncertainty going into that game for Paul George. These bone bruises can be tricky, but again, the great news is that there's no structural damage after that hyperextension that led to a bone bruise. Also, I'm told Paul George was smiling. He was in good spirits at practice on Tuesday. It's believed he has been optimistic about the outcome in the aftermath of the injury. But this is overall the theme for the Sixers, maintaining their health. I reported the other day, Joel Embiid will be taking periodic time off, routine checkups over the course of the season. So him and Tyrese Maxey and Paul George, there's going to be a burden on this team with now Paul George sidelined potentially to start the regular season.
Right. This is something we're going to be watching throughout the season, how healthy this Philadelphia squad can be. But next Tuesday, we have the date circled. That's when we will be checking back in on Paul George. Shams, as always, thank you so very much.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports here. Breaking news all week long. Shams announced it earlier this morning. Kawhi Leonard is out indefinitely. Now let's get to that. Pause on that for a second right now. We're going to get to one Joel Embiid, one Paul George, one Isaiah Hartenstein, and now obviously Kawhi Leonard. So what is going on with all four of those guys? Joel Embiid cannot play back-to-backs. The entire world was buzzing. NBA was going nuts. It's like, why would you sign this guy to a max extension? And 2 or 3 months later, he goes, I can't play back-to-backs for the foreseeable future. Then all of a sudden, I think the very next day, Paul George had a hyperextended knee. Luckily, there was no structural damage, but however, he's being currently reassessed and we'll know more, and maybe after the preseason. I'd imagine he's done for the preseason. So back-to-backs, Joel Embiid, 15 of them, and you got to think about the strategy for the 76ers. Now the 76ers, Joel Embiid, he made a call to one Andre Drummond, and he said, I need you. So Andre Drummond pretty much signed with the 76ers, and now they have a legit backup center. And now Joel Embiid can play, regular games, but without any back-to-backs, right? He wants to remain healthy for the postseason, because they're going to make it to the postseason. If you missed the preseason games, they look pretty good, right? So that is Joel Embiid. Paul George, he cannot play in the preseason. Obviously, he hyperextended his knee. Now, everybody's probably thinking like, oh my God, the season hasn't even started, and now you already got these guys down. Well, I get it, but it's kind of like good that you know now, and you can make adjustments throughout the season, because we're going to enter an 82 regular game season, right? So this is going to be a long stretch. So if you think about it, this is actually a pretty good thing that the 76ers know what to do and how to counteract, right? That is 76ers. Isaiah Hartenstein out with a fractured hand. OKC Thunder, they still look good without him. They look even great with him. So he's out 4 to 6 weeks. Now let's get to Kawhi Leonard, the big news that broke this morning. Kendrick Perkins is suggesting that he should retire. Not Kendrick Perkins, he's already done. Kendrick Perkins is suggesting that Kawhi Leonard should retire, because he pretty much said, how many more surgeries are you going to have, right? How many more surgeries can Kawhi Leonard have, and he still has inflammation in his knee? Tim Legler said it. He goes, you weren't doing anything in the offseason. You tried out for the Olympics. You couldn't make it. You weren't doing anything, and there's still inflammation in the summertime. But now there's a little bit of inflammation. They are going to take it day by day kind of thing. So right now he's out for an extended period of time. Now everybody's probably thinking like Clippers are in a bad state of affairs. But if you think about it this way, the Clippers are very good with Kawhi Leonard intact when he's healthy. If Kawhi Leonard was to come back, like let's just say sometime in February, when people are already drained, people are like getting injuries and stuff like that, this guy comes back 100% healthy, just imagine where the Clippers would be. So you got to take a look at it from this angle. The Clippers right now, they don't look good with Kawhi Leonard not even in the lineup. But just imagine a healthy Kawhi Leonard come February, right? So I know Kendrick Perkins is saying, he should retire, but I think this is a strategic move on the Clippers' behalf, holding him off as much as he can, and then, obviously conditioning and wise, starting up in January, February, or March or something, and then play him at a regular season level, very healthy heading into the playoffs. That's if they make it to the playoffs. James Harden, apparently he looks damn good, and he could probably lead this team into a play-in position. I'm not 100% sure. We'll wait and find out. So now leads me to my next question for you guys. Who do you guys see in the East Finals, or in the finals? Who do you guys see in the finals from the East side, from the West side, right? Now, everybody's saying Boston's going to flat out win. Boston has a great bench. Defending champions, obviously. Jason Tatum playing very well. Jaylen Brown got a bone to pick with him being left off of Team USA, obviously. And they're on a mission. They're on a mission. They got a deep bench. They're all good. Milwaukee, it was a rough two-game stretch there, but then all of a sudden, I think it was against the Bulls, Dame and Giannis combined for 75 points or some crazy stat like that. And to be honest, Milwaukee could do some damage, but I'm not 100% sure because you don't have that much of a bench, right? You don't have a crazy bench. Philadelphia, they stacked up like crazy. They stacked like crazy. They look good. Speaking of stacking up, the New York Knicks, the Knicks look damn good, right? Now they got their center. They got Big Cat, and he's holding it down in the center. Is he tough enough to go up against Joel Embiid or Giannis, right? Can he do that? Miami, you do never count out Miami, right? Apparently, I don't know the guy's name. They drafted very well. They look good, right? Miami looks good. Cavs, they have their core intact. They look good as well. Indiana, not going to miss those guys. These guys are legit. They have a young team. They did fairly well in the postseason last season, so we'll see where they're at. Orlando Magic, not going to forget them. Anything can happen in the regular season. Trades can happen, blah, 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 blah. But, at the end of the day, whose team is it? Who is coming out of the East? All those teams that I listed, 100% look good. 100% look good. But the favorite is the Boston Celtics, according to ESPN and Las Vegas betting squad, whatever the hell they're called. So now let's jump over to the West side. Now the West, I'm not saying that Boston is like 100%. Right behind them in the East is the Knicks. They have the Knicks as the second favorite. ESPN does. Las Vegas does. So we'll see, right? I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think is going to come out of the East? Okay, let's go to the West. Now, we already talked about the Clippers. Lakers, they got to get their, what in order. 100%, right? You can't be doing whatever, right? Like, you have to find out what's going on. You got a rookie head coach in JJ Redick. Can he bring these guys to the promised land? Who knows? Golden State, undefeated in the preseason. When did that last happen? When they won those championships. Just saying, right? So is this a sign to come in the future? Golden State finals? I don't know. You tell me. Dallas looks good on paper, but can they play defense? Can Klay Thompson catch and shoot threes? Can they make it back to the finals? Who knows, right? Phoenix. You got the big three right there. Then you got this kid named Dunn. Steal of the draft. This guy is an elite defender already. This guy can play. Then on top of that, you got like a very good point guard. I forget his name. Sorry if I totally forgot it, but this guy was legit. He did his thing in Washington. Memphis looks good because of the fact that Zach Edey and Ja Morant can dominate. If you haven't seen Zach Edey yet, make sure you look up in the sky because you can't miss. This guy is huge, right? He will dominate the boards. 100% dominate the boards. Zach Edey. I know I'm forgetting some other teams. Sacramento, they could have another deal in place. Maybe Brandon Ingram. Speaking of Brandon Ingram, do not fall asleep on the Pelicans. Pelicans, ever since they traded for DeJounte Murray, oh my God. DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson, CJ McCollum, and one Brandon Ingram. Right? Those guys can play. 100% those guys can play. Then you got, I already mentioned the Lakers, the Clippers, Sacramento, Dallas, OKC Thunder. I know I'm missing a couple other teams here and there. Houston looks good because of their pick for Rookie of the Year, pretty much. This guy can play. Totally forgetting the names here. But a couple other teams here and there. But what stands out the most is the OKC Thunder. OKC Thunder, you know, you got to give them props. You got to give them props. Sam Presti, general manager, president, whatever, he knows what he's doing. He definitely knows what he's doing, because now you already have Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, SGA. Then on top of that, you traded out Josh Giddey for one elite defender in Alex Caruso. Then what you did is you went and signed Isaiah Hartenstein in free agency. Why is that huge? Imagine Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren in your backcourt. Or sorry, in your front court. Imagine those guys. That is a huge front court. And to get past OKC Thunder, they are legit, they're young, they're healthy, they move fast, right? And only time will tell. Can OKC Thunder make it to the finals? Can they win the finals? You tell me. I want you guys to leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me which team is going to win the NBA Finals. This is Jag from Jaggy Sports.